Good afternoon, evening or morning, everybody, and welcome to today, the 30th of March 2020, another challenging day, confusing day, an opportunity day, a day of transformation. It's a very interesting day because according to the Indian Vedic calendar and the astrologers that work that system, today is supposed to be the day when the divine feminine energy returns to the planet with great force. And so hopefully that's true, that the nurturing mother in the form of nature and all physical loving mothers return to help us through these strange times. Once again, because of the strain on the phone lines, if this phone conversation breaks down and you just hear silence, don't go anywhere. It's just that we disconnected on the phone, but we'll never disconnect our hearts, our minds and our spirits. And I will just redial back in and once again start exactly where I left off. It's been a very interesting day today, and I found myself singing quite a lot. And I found myself singing songs and put my own words to them. And so I was going to say, let everything that we learn here today spread its wings and fly to those in need. Whatever their belief is, whatever their belief system is, whatever their religious system or non-religious system is, these calls are not here to challenge anybody's belief, because everybody's belief is valid. Everybody's belief, whether it is positive or negative. This is not the time to be fighting around who knows what and what knows who. Now is truly a time to just listen. And so I'd like to point you all back before I sing a song that I've been singing all morning. Well, not the whole song, just a few, because I don't want to crack your ears. But I want to point you back to the fact that I've been using these calls and the build-up to these calls in a very specific way. And last week's call was a setup for this week's call by helping you to make room for newer and higher beliefs if you're ready. So this information can help you even after this current situation is over. Because if you sit with your beliefs, you will find that not all of them are even yours. That really what it's about here is understanding that no matter who you are, once you were born onto this planet, you had programs put into you, whether they were true or truthful, false or lies. And so the analogy I use is a computer. When you receive a computer, and you open it, the one thing you understand is this: the computer is stupid. It just is. It's just there. And actually it only comes to life or becomes useful when it's programmed. And these programs that we put into computers, sometimes we use them, sometimes we don't, but they're always there. These programs sometimes just pop up, and in doing so, begin to run a program that we mightn't always want. So remember that in order to make room for your experience, sometimes you have to delete programs. This is what we call empowerment, that these programs of empowerment actually come from that understanding that you might be running a belief that is not even your belief. It might be something that you see happening or experience. So last week's call, about beliefs is well worth revisiting, and in doing so, as I say, finding its way to help you much further after this whole situation has passed. So what has been the song that I've been singing all day? Seeing that I'm going to sing it, I'm going to put it out as my prayer for everybody in the world who is just struggling with anxiety, fear, depression, or whatever it is that they're struggling with at the moment. You'll recognize the music, you'll recognize the song, but the words, as I say, is slightly different because I've been singing it all day like a mantra or a prayer. So once again, I'll offer it to you and everybody in the world. I pray you'll be my light and watchers where we go. As dark turns into light, let us learn we know. Learn what we need. Learn all we need. Let this be our prayer when we need to dare go beyond our human soul. Bring us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe. So that's it. I won't be signing any record deals now, I'm sure, in the near future, but as I've always said to people, you know something about singing? Sing as if nobody is listening. Sing to God, sing to yourself. Singing is a great way to stay in touch with your soul. So, we're all at this moment, we're all like a field that is being prepared for planting of a seed. The seed has everything in it to be and to become exactly what it is. It cannot be what it is not. So therefore, everything, every thought is a seed. And during these frightening times, these times when the soil is turning or being dug up, these are times to be careful what seeds you plant. As Jesus said when he scatters the seed, some will land on fertile soil, some will land on the ground and not germinate, and others will land on rocks. So we really don't know. But what we do know is that what I believe they were talking about in this situation is they were talking about their beliefs and their thoughts. And specifically during these times, as I say, where things are being churned up and turned over, is a time when we have to be extra careful as to what thoughts and beliefs we are allowing, what communications we allow in and out of our mind, as I've already spoken about. And science has proven that when you're really in your beliefs, this is the time when you have to be strong enough to be able to focus so that all your beliefs for a single issue are congruent and focused. Because when you focus, they can have a very positive effect on your mind and your body. So what your mind focuses on is generally what it's going to manifest. And as I said, I believe that it's time now to really check to be that gatekeeper and make sure we know what's coming in and out of our system. Don't be looking at too much news coverage. Laugh a little bit more. Give yourself the space and the time now that has been afforded to you. Beliefs take time to grow. It is said that it takes 21 days to change a habit or belief, whether positive or negative. Think about that for a moment. It takes 21 days, whether positive or negative. And so, within our lives, whatever we think is going to be reflected in the experiences we have. There are many ways to reinforce our beliefs through spirit, mind, and body. Some of the things that we're going to do today is I'd like to introduce you to a very powerful meditation, which, as you know, I'll do at the end of this call so that you can isolate it when you're not driving or in a situation where it wouldn't be safe to go into an altered state of consciousness. It's a very powerful meditation that when I was training way back in the day as a psychotherapist, we were taught this in order to protect us from the psychic debris that would be thrown at us on a daily basis in our work. Because as any psychotherapist or psychologist will tell you, there is a thing called transference that happens within a system. And that is transference can either be positive or negative. So in the course of our work, sometimes we actually become the person projected on out of the relationship that the person has in their mind about what it is they're struggling with or what they're trying to alleviate their suffering. So we become the harsh mother or the loving mother, the harsh father or the loving father, the lover or the hater. So we become that. And so, when you're having that projected onto you all the time, you really do need to have some really good energetic and psychological protection up in order to get over that when you're doing it, as I say, on a daily basis. So I'll share that meditation with you at the end of this call because it'll be very helpful for you at this stage as different people have different ideas of what's going on so that you can stay protected and just hold your own belief, your own course of action in place to help protect you, and obviously if you share it with other people to protect them also. I've also just uploaded on my website a technique called emotional freedom therapy, or tapping as it's called. Again, an extremely powerful technique where you tap the acupuncture points on your body in order to relieve your anxieties, your fears, your headaches, anything at all. Again, I took the time of just uploading that on my website so you can go and have a look, print it off. It's I call it tapping on a sheet. Very, very helpful at times like this. The idea that something that I wanted to share with people who have been following these calls from the beginning, I shared a technique with you, a very powerful healing technique that I call Pac-Man, where we swallow the Pac-Man and it goes down and starts eating away any virus or any misqualified energy in your being in order for you to heal yourself. One thing I can tell you about this as well, because everything is energy, science has proven this, and the only thing, by the way, on the planet that cannot be destroyed is energy. So, the energy of our words, the energy of this call can actually go out into the masses if we really believe it. And our beliefs are creating our reality, which you'll hear me say time and time again. So, over the years, I have found myself doing this Pac-Man technique for other people who are not physically present with me. And we've had absolutely amazing results. It's where, if you like, nearly my belief was slightly stronger than the belief of the person I was working with. And so I use that belief to help them to heal, because one thing I learned when I look at people, I just try to look at perfection, because if you look at illness, then illness is what you're creating. If you're looking at broken people is what you're creating. So try to look at, perfection in the imperfection, for want of better words. So do keep in mind, as I say, that if you want to sit and send somebody who is currently on an incubator in an ICU unit somewhere, you can do this technique for them. If they're not capable of doing it for themselves, you can do it for them now. Always ask their higher self, is it okay to do it? You may not get an answer back. Some people do get answers back, which is yes or no. If you get a no, then don't do it. If you get a yes, then do it. And if you get nothing, just put it out there. And if their higher self wants it, they can utilize it in their own way or time. And that led me to another amazing idea during the week. And again, I'd like to share this one with you. And it's based on a conversation, well, many conversations, but a specific conversation that I had with an incredible being. A doctor, his name was Jack Gibson, and Dr. Jack Gibson was a doctor in Naas, spelled Naas, hospital in Ireland, so you can Google him if you wish. And Jack was a pioneer, because there's videos there of Jack operating on people literally with I won't say a chainsaw, but what looked like a chainsaw, cutting open a woman's chest and breaking her ribs to get into her heart, to do open heart surgery on this woman while she's lifting her head looking at him, because he's using the power of the mind. He's using hypnosis in order to speed up the healing process of these people, and without anesthesia. So if that doesn't prove to you the power of the mind, there's also many dental techniques you will see being used, this power of the mind as well. If you go and look, the evidence is there. Don't believe a word I'm saying. Go and do your own journey, do your own homework, because it'll be more powerful. But what Jack discovered, or what he informed me about one time over for coffee when I was talking to him, was he discovered as a surgeon that, which is why he really did begin to look into the power of the mind and the power of words. And his story is there, as I say, but this is just a synopsis or brief view of it. But basically what Jack said was that they were operating one day, and when they were operating, they were operating on a woman who had a massive big tumour in her body, but it wasn't a tumour that was life-threatening because of where it was positioned, and I'm not a doctor, so I don't fully know the medical ins and outs, but here's the general story. But as himself and the other doctors were working anyway, removing this, seemingly they had conversations about, all sorts of things, like the round of golf they had, whether it was a good day, a bad day. And one of the doctors actually turned around and used a statement. And the statement was that this woman will never be the same again after this operation. And the woman flatlined, immediately went into distress and flatlined. And they had to revise her. And it turned out that he understood something that was not particularly taught in the medical community, but became part of training in some medical communities, I heard, which was that because this woman's unconscious, subconscious mind had taken the suggestion that she would never be the same again, i.e. she had taken it in a negative, that she was going to in some way end up, crippled or very ill or whatever, her mind switched her down. How powerful is that? And so what he did is, this led him to start to really study hard about the mind, and he discovered that when people were in deep comas, that their subconscious mind could still register everything that was going on around them, including conversations. And so anybody listening to this call who has ever sat at the side of the bed of a loved one who was about to pass into the next dimension, and they were on these machines and whatever, when you were talking to them, whatever you were saying to them, they heard. And, I know my own personal experience on many an occasion, from my, nieces to nephews to brothers to mother, father to Linda. The one thing I always had, that insight or courage to say was, I had that ability to know when they were struggling, that they were tired, that they needed to go, that they wanted to go, but they wanted to be here for their loved ones as well. And to just take their hand and hold their hand and just say, it's okay to go. It's okay. You're not going anywhere. You came from energy, you're returning to energy. You came from your God, you're returning to your God. It's okay to go. Don't stay here. Don't suffer any longer. You've done that. And on many, well, not many, I won't lie, I know on 2 very powerful occasions when I said those words, holding the person's hand, within seconds, if not minutes of saying it, the machine beeped and they began to flatline. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because I see an issue that people are having, and I want to give a tool to help. God forbid, or God allow, don't know which statement is correct at this stage, that one of your loved ones finds themselves in a situation where they're in one of these ICUs because of this virus, and they're lying there, and you cannot talk to them. You cannot hold their hand. You cannot speak to them words of love, comfort, and wisdom. So let me give you an idea. Please consider this idea. We nearly all have phones now. Now may be the time, in preparation, to record a message to your loved ones, telling them how much you appreciated them in your life, how much you loved them, how much they taught you. Whatever words it is that comes from your heart, and record that. And should you find yourself in the sad state where it is your loved one there, I'm sure you can get the hospital to put the phone beside the ear of your loved one and at least have your voice, not a stranger's voice, as loving as their service is. Have your voice be the voice that says whatever you feel is right for you. I remember when I found my mother, she had just had a heart attack, and I couldn't believe how quickly I remembered in the religious belief of Catholic the words that I whispered in her ear, the act of contrition. Oh my God, I'm heartily sorry for all my sins because they have offended thee, and I ask with the help of thy grace never to offend thee again. And knowing that those words would lift that soul up was incredible. So please take this idea, see if it's workable. If it is, tell everybody, because if I'm lying there, I would love to hear my grandchildren laughing even into the phone whilst I'm struggling. I'd love to hear them say, Granda, or whatever it was, rather than conversations of not another one going, oh my God, we can't save. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear love. So there's another little idea that hopefully, if it's worthwhile, you might wish to pass on. There's also acupressure for a strong immune system that you can utilize. And again, I remember during my martial arts years, and I remember I was going to be entering a competition, and I discovered that I was going to have this fluey, not feel good, and I was traveling to the competition, and my instructor at the time was a Korean, and he said to me, I'm going to show you a couple of pressure points or acupuncture points. He said, press on these, it'll help your immune system, it'll boost your immune system, and you'll feel much better. And as true as God, by the time I needed to step out and do my fight, my martial arts fight, I was feeling on top of the world. And so again, I can look these up for you maybe somewhere and put them up on the website if you can't find them yourself. But I went into my attic and I rooted out my old copybooks, martial arts copybooks of notes I took about events that my teachers taught me, and there it was. I found it and I went, oh my God, this is incredible. And so effectively it's like my notes just say kidney 27, like large intestine 11, which was on the elbow, kidney was up on the collarbone, lung 7, which was up my wrist, and stomach 36. I'm sure if you Googled the new guru on the block and just said, give me acupressure points to boost my immune system, you're going to find the likes of these that will probably be very helpful for you and your family to understand. Again, I hope that is a little bit helpful. And as regards the frequencies and energies of these things, you don't have to know everything. This is not about knowing it all. It's actually about praying. It's actually about saying, something, I don't know what 852 megahertz is. Somebody told me that if at that level, or science measures it's the level of destroying fear. Well, hey, you know what? You can take it from the people who've already gone and done the work for you, that's true. And so all you need to do is sit quietly, close your eyes and go, I am calling on the frequency of 852 megahertz. And then just sit there quietly as you allow stuff to just happen, as I say, in a very normal and very natural way. So I hope that is somewhat helpful to today's call. And it brings me to the part of answering questions. I won't get through all the questions, but please do take the time, if you would, because I need this feedback to know what to look for, what to talk about. There is hundreds of people on this call. Be Well Clinic, BWELLCLINIC Clinic at yahoo.com is for prayers or meditations or whatever it is that I'm doing in order to help people in their current set of situations. Don't send questions to there, but please give us your feedback on info@DerekO'Neill.com. Please give us your feedback so I know what it is you're looking for, what skills, what knowledge, what do I have that may be helpful to you and your family and the world at this time. And send those questions in so I can get through them and help as many as I can. So here's a few questions that I get through. This one gave me a bit of a laugh, actually, because I think it was somebody trying to give me a bit of a laugh, like tongue-in-cheek. It says, hi, Derek, is it too late to get CUMO in a race for president? We need some kind of mercy salvation. Sending you much love. So that's somebody, obviously, who's probably not happy with what's going on from the government level, which sort of makes you laugh. But here's a really good question. Thank you again so much for all that you are and all that you have done and are doing now. You're welcome. These calls are precious to me and I am so grateful. My question is, in the midst of all that is occurring now in our world, I have myself felt quite excited, happy, joyful, peaceful and loving during these times, even in the midst of being personally quarantined for this coronavirus. So many around me are not in this state of mind and they find my excitement about what's occurring to be odd and a bit crazy. My truth, however, is that I have longed for the time that the world would begin to heal, change and come together as one, united in love, peace, truth, non-violence and right action. I see that happening now and it brings me great joy despite the hardship that many are facing, myself included. I respect others' anger, fear, sadness and depression, but I'm finding a seed of doubt and guilt within myself that I do not feel this way at all. And instead I'm happy about all of this. In the spirit of always wanting to learn and grow, is there something wrong, out of alignment, if you will, with me feeling this way and projecting it outwardly through my presence and being? What a great, I think we're all in that situation and we're all going from different states, and it's based on you cannot hold two emotions at the same time. It's impossible to hold love and hate at the same time. You can either only have one or the other. And different tests may come to test your faith, to test your belief. That's the joy of life. Those tests should be welcomed rather than feared. In these situations, you have to be conscious of other people's beliefs, of other people's experiences. And so, it's not always right to say to people, oh, everything is fine when their loved one is dying. They'll probably break your nose or give you a broken jaw. So, these are the times when you should sit still and just ooze those beliefs out into the system for people to collect, rather than showing them or stating them in any way that would be harmful or offensive to others. Like, help ever, hurt never means it's not helpful. It is not helpful to see somebody laughing if you are at the deathbed of your loved one. That wouldn't be helpful. So be aware of your environment and be still and know that it's not about you pressing your beliefs on anybody else. It's about you holding your belief and, as I say, sending that out into the universe. Great question. The next question. Hi, Derek. I'm in Australia. Maria Scully Conroy just wants to say thanks for the links to these in these challenging times. Sorry, I don't normally read out names, but that one came. My question is, how do I deal with the energy of fear around us? For instance, because I am an empathic person my whole life, my whole body is collecting energy and I can feel the fear of those around me. Although I use sage meditation, lift my vibration as much as I can and still feel this, can you suggest any powerful mantra or saying I can utilize at this time? I'd really appreciate it. So again, it's about, not just putting words out it's about really believing in what it is that you're putting out there. And so, if you put out a statement like, every day in every single way, I am growing in love and light. Every day, every moment of the day, I am growing in love and light. That mantra, that prayer, that vibration will take flight and go into the ethers for, again, anybody to collect who needs or wants to have it. Next question. I saw a video that clarity and fishes are returning to the canals of Venice. My sister is in New York, says the sky is seen clearer and it is quiet. People are listening. With some of these positive effects in our situation, I would like your insight. Do you feel humanity will use this rogue virus to catapult forward with love and not regress back into the same destruction to our beautiful earth? Again, great question. People in New York are struggling very hard now, and they have struggled in the past when 9/11 happened. And every day we're seeing acts of kindness, acts of, pure love. And, during 9/11, you've seen those things as well. Pictures were being shared on social media of people allowing people to plug their phones into extensions coming from their home because they had power and others didn't. People buying people coffee because they just needed to listen. So, unfortunately, humanity has that yin and yang about it. It's in Ireland we have a saying called "eaten bread is soon forgotten," and believe me, I know this one very well. I've helped many people, I believe, with as much as I could, with as much grace as I could, with as much love as I thought I could. And I've had these people go down the line and turn on me and say I'm the devil incarnate and all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. And you're left sort of scratching your head going, what was that all about? And what I discovered was it was about I was reaching for the fruits of my actions back then, you know. I was sort of, without realising it, I was nearly dependent on people to tell me I was doing a good job in order to, you know, keep going and stuff like that. But then I learned I don't need anybody's anything except my own. I need my own love. I need my own good job. I need to sit. I need to be able to put my head on the pillow at night and sleep. So, as somebody who spent most of his childhood sitting beside rivers under trees, playing with wild rabbits and reindeer coming up and feeding right beside me because I was in love with nature and they did not fear me. They probably in some way energetically picked me up as part of nature. I hope and pray that these new visions that people are having are strong enough and energy filled enough for them to want to continue with those same changes. That's all we can do. As I said, the candle of hope is the candle that will relight the candles of love. Oh, somebody sent me a great little video the other day of the 4 candles, and it was absolutely incredible. So it was great to receive that again. Next question is, how do we best support our families and communities during these challenging times? Because of attending your workshops over the years, I realised the importance of holding consciousness, peace and love. But how do we support others in a very grounded way other than being an example of calm? Again, so the answers to these questions lies within. It's like, what moves you to do something? I think I shared a story with people, and there's people I know on this call who may have been with me the time when I was in India, and I had brought over a small group of people, and we went for a drive out into one of the villages, and you know, as we were driving towards one of the leper colonies, we pulled in the van, and there was a woman, and there was leprosy all over her, and people in the van freaked out because she was coming towards the van, and I felt their fear. I felt it, and you know, here I was at the bringing them to this place, and so without even thinking, I acted. I got out of the van. I had a package of biscuits. I handed this lady, this being, a package of biscuits, and then without even realizing it, I found myself hugging her and just whispering in her ear that she is beautiful in all ways. And all of a sudden I turned, expecting everybody in the van to be gone into some, you know, get us out of here. But what happened was they too began to open the doors of the van. And what was that all about? That's where I found out that belief, where love is present, disease cannot be. I'm not saying that I couldn't have got leprosy if that was meant to happen. That would have been God's will, not mine. But it didn't happen. And so, a very powerful. So just do what feels like love, and the rest will be fine. Next question. And then we'll move on to the meditation. Does doing more in service always boost their own energy, or is there a risk of overload? I believe that listen to your body. It will tell you if you're, just some people are just over-giving and they don't have the tools to replenish that energy they're giving out, and they become ill. So I'd say listen to your body, and if you're getting tired, take rest. There's a part 2 of the question. Can you share your thoughts about how to maintain the balance of service to self with service to others? So I think I've just answered that question in that answer in its own way. So there you go, people. There is one last question which I actually answered, so I'll point you right back to the beginning of how I said about turning over the soil of this experience, because the last question was, are we not all worthy, regardless of our knowledge or devotion? How does devotion and knowledge make us worthy? Are we not all capable of union at any given moment if we open to grace? And so the answer to that is yes, we are filled and we ask to be dug up. Any of our resentments, bitterness, anger, any hidden agendas, let it all be dug up so that we can be planted with the seeds of love, truth, peace, non-violence and right conduct. Thank you. So, I'm going to move on to this powerful meditation now. So again, if you're listening to this meditation and you have nothing better to do, when I count at the end from 1 to 3, if you don't have to do anything, then just stay in it for as long as you like and then come out of it whenever you like. If you have something to do, your mind will hear the count of 3, and when I click my fingers, you will return to the here and now. So, once again, I want you to imagine it's a warm, sunny summer's afternoon. And I want you to imagine that you're just sitting on a park bench and you're just watching a lake. And on the lake is ducks and swans and birds and different types of fowl. And they're just there, just doing their thing. And you're just in this peaceful warmth. Again, people are just going about their business, but you feel completely safe. Just sitting on the bench, just watching the calm water and the birds just there. The next thing you hear this sound. And as you look over your right shoulder, you see the most amazing white swan. And you see it coming over your shoulder like this amazing, graceful bird. And it's about to land on the water. And you see it sort of dip its feet as if it's going to be skating across the water, and its feet just hits the water, and it causes a wake on this perfectly calm lake, and it just settles down and comes to rest. And as you're looking at that, I want you to imagine now that you stand up from the bench, and you just see yourself now and feel yourself. You just stood up from the bench. And you remember as a child, or even recently, you might have seen or blown some bubbles. And you know what these bubbles look like. And the way the light catches them. They have different colours. And yet, you can see through them and see out through a bubble. And we're going to put upon you now what we call a bubble of protection. A bubble that when it is put around you now, only love can enter. Anger, frustration, bitterness, negativity, viruses, disease cannot enter this bubble when it's around you. But at the same time, these same negative traits cannot leave the bubble. Love can enter the bubble, and love can leave the bubble. But anything else will bounce off the outer wall of the bubble and bounce back to you, helping you to understand how your perceptions and your projections are not helpful to anybody unless you learn the root cause and where they're coming from, helping you to heal in every way. And so, as you stand there, I want you to imagine from me now, about 2 feet under your feet, I want you to imagine this bubble and it's beginning to rise about arm distance, as if your arms are stretched out from your body, that distance away. And this bubble is beginning to rise, and it's rising up your body. Slowly and gently, it begins to rise up over your body. And the same about 1 or 2 feet above your head. But this bubble doesn't close like a normal bubble. It has an opening at the top. And that's because this is a sacred bubble. This is a powerful bubble of truth. So in your mind's eye now, I want your higher self to give you a symbol or an object in which you are going to seal this bubble. If you like, you're going to tie it shut. I remember when I did this years ago, I used a black belt, a martial arts black belt, because it reminded me of hard work and strength and courage. And so I tied off the bubble. So you might just use a favorite colored ribbon or some gold thread. You may even decide to sew it shut. Whatever it is, there's a reason for that. Your higher self is giving you a reason for the symbol that you use and the color that you use and what it means for you to use it. So just seal that bubble there now and just feel what it feels like to be in this protected space. This space that only love can enter and love can leave, and everything else, all misqualified energy, all thoughts, all viruses, anything that is no longer useful to you, anything that won't help your soul to grow, cannot enter and cannot leave this bubble. That's right. And now I want you to take this exercise and to understand that every morning for the next 21 mornings, when you wake up, just throw your feet over the side of your bed, sit or stand, whichever you wish. And I want you to bring this bubble over you again every day and seal it with the exact same object, ribbon, color, whatever it was, the exact same. And you're going to do this every morning for 21 days. And if during the day you feel any challenging situation that you have to face, take a moment to close your eyes and just strengthen this bubble. Just see this bubble pulsating, coming up, full of love and light and peace. Just any time, as many times during the day as you want to, you need to, or you can. But at least every morning you must put this up to help your mind to be strong, to help your body to be strong, and to remind your spirit that you love it and the grace of it in your life. And so this will be your strengthening, powerful technique for the next 21 days. And on a count now of 1 to 3, again, if you've nothing better to do, you can just sit down on the bench, the bubble all around you, looking at the lake. But if you have other stuff to do, then return into the here and now on a count of 3. 1, feeling really, really good about this bubble, about everything that you've learned on this call. 2, that willingness to be open, to share, to be. 3, opening your eyes, just returning now to the here and now, and just getting on with your day. Service to yourself, service to man, is service to God. Go in love, go in light. Do what you can. Help when you can. Don't feel guilty if you can't help. Don't feel guilty if you don't want to help. Let all fear disappear from your being now. And I hope that you share this information with many, many souls who are just in need. This is not about collecting emails or collecting anything. This is about finally doing service. They say if you want to know somebody, look at their actions. Not so much what anybody else has to say about them. That's their opinion. That's valid. Don't try to change them because, as we've already learned, you cannot change somebody's belief if they're not willing to look at a new belief. So, enjoy your Monday. I shall see and feel and hear you all on Thursday. Prayers for anybody in need. Please send their names. I'm doing very deep meditations. By you sending me their names, I'm reading their names out in my meditations and sending them as much love and light as I can muster through my own trainings and experiences of traveling through India, Tibet, and all those great places. So God bless you on your journey. All right. Have a great day and hope to talk to you all again next Thursday. Love and light to you all, and may your prayers be heard by source of all sources. Thank you. Bye-bye.